All right, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely. Always up for good exploration.
Looks like we're tackling Orhan Pamuk's The Red-Haired Woman this time.
Ah, Pamuk.
You've got excerpts, summaries, even some critical analysis here.
Wow, going all in.
So what are we aiming for today? You want the main plot points, right? The big
Hey,
themes,
those are key.
and maybe even how it all connects to, us, our lives.
I like that angle. Makes it personal.
Okay, let's unpack this. So first things first. It's 1980s Istanbul.
Oh, Istanbul in the 80s.
Picture it. Political tension.
Yeah.
A society in flux.
A city on edge.
And right in the thick of it is our main character,
Yeah.
young Sam Shelik.
Okay.
And his life's a bit messy, right?
Yeah.
Absent father, struggling mother.
Right from the start, you see that father-son dynamic.
That theme of longing for a strong male figure.
It just permeates the whole book, doesn't it? Like that quote where Sem says a man's life is the story of his father and the women he's loved.
Oh, yeah, I remember that line. It's
Yeah.
all about those core relationships shaping his journey.
Exactly. And it's not just his biological father, right? Pamuk brings in these mythical fathers, too. Oedipus, the Greek tragic hero, and Rostam, this legendary Persian warrior, they almost become these ghostly presences for Sem.
Oh, the myths. I was wondering about those.
Yeah, they really weigh on him, don't they?
I admit, those myths aren't exactly fresh in my mind.
Yeah,
Could you give us a little refresher? Like, why are they so crucial to Kem's story?
sure. So, Oedipus, in a nutshell, he unknowingly kills his father and marries his mother, fulfilling a prophecy he tried desperately to avoid.
Whoa, heavy stuff.
It's all about fate, even when we try to resist it. And then Rostam, he's this incredible warrior, but he ends up killing his own son in battle without even knowing it.
Oh, wow. Talk about tragic irony.
Right, even the strongest can fall victim to circumstance.
So both these stories, they're about intense father-son relationships, often ending in tragedy.
Yeah, no wonder those myths are stuck in Sem's head, especially with his own father issues.
Totally. It's like he's searching for answers in these ancient narratives, right?
Yeah.
Trying to make sense of his own life.
Yeah, absolutely. Projecting his own fears onto these larger-than-life figures.
So, okay, Istanbul is chaotic, right? Kim's got this family drama. What does he do?
He escapes, takes a summer job with a well digger, Master Mahmut.
Master Mummet. All right, picture this. Scorching heat, dusty flames, and this old-school craftsman teaching Kim, the ancient art of well digging.
A total shift from Istanbul.
Like a retreat into a simpler life.
And Mahmut, he's all about discipline, hard work. He becomes this surrogate father figure for Sem, everything Sem's own father wasn't.
Interesting. So we have this contrast, the intellectual, politically charged world of his real father.
Versus this grounded, traditional world of Master Mahmut.
It's like Turkey itself is caught in that struggle. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Modernization versus tradition.
The 80s were a huge turning
A
point.
time of massive change.
Like Sem's journey mirrors those bigger societal tensions.
Exactly. Like even the well itself, it becomes this powerful symbol.
The well.
Yeah, think about it. It's a source of life. But it's also dangerous.
True, you could fall in, get hurt.
It's like Turkey's modernization. There's potential, but also risks.
So, as Querman digs deeper, literally and figuratively, he uncovers more than just water.
Right. His desires, anxieties, they all start coming up.
And this is where the red-haired woman enters the picture.
Right. Yes. The red-haired woman.
She's different, the opposite of Master Mamo in that whole world.
Totally. She's an actress, older, independent, alluring to young Sarum.
Freedom, passion, you said.
She embodies it all, a challenge to those strict traditions Mahmut represents.
The descriptions of their encounters, they're so vivid, you can practically feel the tension.
Oh, the tension is palpable. Desire, but also fear.
Fear.
Of betraying Master Mahmut, those values.
He's torn, isn't he?
Completely caught between these opposing forces.
It's like a love triangle, almost.
You could say that. Sarum, the red-haired woman, and Master Mahmut, this paternal figure.
So where does this all lead? What happens next?
Well, remember those myths we talked about? Oedipus, Rostam? This is where they start to bleed into reality.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear more. We'll have to dive into that next time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we left off with Sedimim, right in the middle of this triangle. The red-haired woman, Master Mahmud. And those myths hanging over everything.
The shadow, yeah.
What happens? Do those myths, actually start playing out in his life?
You could say that. So as Semen gets closer to the red-haired woman, his bond with Master Mahmut, it weakens. He He's distracted, full of desire and guilt.
Right, makes sense. It's like his internal struggle, it mirrors what's happening in Turkey at the time.
Absolutely. That tension between old and new.
Like Sem's got in the middle.
Exactly. And then, bam, disaster strikes at the well.
What happens?
Semini's distracted, and he accidentally drops the bucket.
Oh, no.
He's terrified it hit Master Mahmud. I mean, imagine the panic, the guilt.
Yeah, heavy stuff.
It's like Oedipus, right? Harming his father without knowing.
And so what does Sem do?
He runs.
He doesn't, like, check on Mahmud.
Nope. He just flees back to Istanbul.
Wow.
Carrying that secret with him.
And that decision, it sticks with him.
Oh, yeah, it shapes everything. He has a career, he gets married, but he never really escapes that summer.
It makes you think, right? About choices we make, things we wish we could undo.
It's a universal experience to wonder what if.
And for Sem, that guilt, how does it manifest?
He becomes obsessed with those myths. Oedipus, Rostam.
He's still trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, searching for meaning in their tragic fates.
But it's ironic, isn't it? He wants to understand fate, but he's running from his own actions.
Exactly. It's like he's looking for answers outside of himself instead of facing his own truth.
So he avoids those hard questions.
For a while.
But then, what changes?
He decides to go back to the well.
He does, after all these years.
Yeah. Hoping for, I don't know, some peace with the past, maybe.
To find some kind of closure.
Maybe. And what he discovers, well, it changes everything.
Oh, this is getting good. What does he find out?
First, he learns that Master Mahmud survived.
He did. So Shimon didn't actually.
No, he didn't kill him. But the relief is mixed with, a whole new kind of guilt.
He abandoned someone who cared for him.
Exactly. But there's more. He starts searching for the red-haired woman, too.
He does. Does he find her?
He learns her name, Gulchahan, and that she has a son.
Wait a minute. A son. Don't tell me.
Yeah, Gulchahan's son. It's Kumbin's son. He had a child and never knew.
Oh, wow. Now, those myths, they're not just stories anymore.
Right. It's like Oedipus, but in reverse. He didn't kill his father. He abandoned his son.
And all that time, he focused on the wrong guilt.
Exactly. Now he's facing a different kind of fatherly failure.
And he's probably terrified, right?
Oh, yeah. He's convinced his son will find him, want revenge. He sees signs everywhere.
Like fate is catching up with him. But this is where we hear from Gulchahan, right?
Yes. Finally, her perspective.
I'm dying to hear her side of things. This is going to be good. We're back. And wow, that cliffhanger. Sema has a son, and he had no idea. It's like all those myths he's obsessed with, they've become his reality.
And now we finally get to hear from Gulchahan, the woman at the center of it all.
Yeah, it's amazing how Pamuk shifts everything in part 3. We get her world, her thoughts.
It's not just Sema's story anymore.
I'm so curious. What's she like? Is she, a victim in all this?
No, not at all. She's strong, independent. She has this whole rich life.
So we see her as more than just, like, the red-haired woman.
Exactly. We learn about her passion for theater, her love for stories, and how she raised her son, Ender.
Raised him, son.
Yeah, and she instilled in him this fascination with those same myths. Oedipus, Rostam.
Wow, that's interesting. It's like she understands how powerful those stories are. Right?
Oh, absolutely. They shape how we see ourselves, the world.
And she sees how they've messed with Sem's head.
Right. He's trying to fit himself into these tragic roles.
But what about Gulchahan and Kem? Does she, still have feelings for him?
She remembers him, yeah.
Yeah.
His passion, his intensity, but also his anxieties. His fear of becoming his father.
Which made him run.
Exactly.
But she knew about Enver. Why not tell Tarim? Was she, waiting for fate to do its thing?
It's not about revenge, I don't think. It's more like she sees the patterns, how history repeats itself.
She thinks it was inevitable, this confrontation with his son.
Maybe. It's like she understands they're all caught in this bigger story.
This whole fate versus free will thing. It's huge in the book. So does Gulchahan believe we have no control? Or is there, a chance we can break free?
That's the big question, right? And Pamuk doesn't give us easy answers.
She leaves us hanging.
But I think what Gulchahan sees is that even if we can't control what happens to us, we can choose how we react.
Okay, so what happens when Tem and Enver finally meet? Is there any, reconciliation?
Temin tries, yeah. He desperately wants to connect, explain, make amends.
He wants to be a father.
But Enver, he grew up without a dad. He's angry, resentful.
It's just sad, isn't it? Semakunk runs from his past, and it just comes back to haunt him.
And then, it's almost like a cruel joke.
What do you mean?
Remember how Sema fell into the well that first time?
Yeah.
Well, in this desperate attempt to reach Enver, he falls in again.
No way.
And it's Enver who sees it happen. It's like that prophecy Sema feared. It comes true.
Oh, man. Devastating.
It really makes you think, about the choices we make, the secrets we keep, how the past can shape us even when we try to run.
It's like, what did we learn today? Pamuk gives us this, like, incredibly layered story. It's full of symbolism, psychology, and, yeah, maybe a bit of fatalism.
But it's beautifully written,
Well,
so thought-provoking.
the thing that sticks with me, though, is this question. Are we really just playing out roles in stories that are already written? Or can we, I don't know, can we break free?
It's something to ponder.
Until next time, happy reading, everyone.